Hi, I'm Larry Richardson, your step-by-step chef, and I'm out here at Mount Lassen National Park. It's in Northern California. It is the most southerly volcano in the Cascade Range, and it has a heck of a hike. I hiked 2.5 miles up and then probably another mile at the top. I'm giving myself about a 6-mile credit for hiking today, and that's left me plenty hungry. So what I'm going to do, since we're doing cooking and camping with the Step-by-Step Chef, is make a delicious shrimp scampi using whatever ingredients I have on hand. I think you are going to like this dish, but I do have to warn you about one thing. If you can't get your hands on fresh shrimp, we are going to use, and I'm going to use, canned shrimp. We have to get used to the can. Yes, we can, especially if we're camping. You have to have some canned food on hand just in case you get stuck someplace and they don't have any food left, or there's no food in the campground to begin with. So keep that in mind. Make sure that you have a little survival box with some canned goods in it, some, like a tuna fish, a chicken, a shrimp, anything like that, and then some vegetables. And then if you have like a bread on hand or a rice or a pasta, which is what we're going to have tonight, you will be all set up. You'll never go without. So come on, let's cook. And here are the ingredients for our shrimp camping scampi. First of all, I have some angel hair pasta. It's thinner, it cooks faster, and I'm at altitude, so the faster the pasta cooks, the better. We have a can of medium shrimp, and that's a 6-ounce can, and we'll drain the liquid out of that. Make sure you have your can opener. We'll use 2 tablespoons of butter, a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil. We will use a 1/4 cup of this onion and this 1 celery stalk, and then we'll use 2 or 3 cloves of garlic, depending on the size. We also have some Italian seasonings. That's up to you if you want to add them. I do not usually add them to this dish, but if you like them, add 1/2 teaspoon. And we will do Parmesan cheese to taste. The other thing we need is just some water to boil that spaghetti in, and we have some salt, which you can also use to taste. So come on, let's cook. Only the shadow knows. Yeah, okay. Let's move on from there. The first thing we'll do is prepare our veggies, and we're just going to put them right in that pan. We're camping, and we don't have to be super fancy with all this stuff. So I'm just cutting the celery lengthwise. It's already been rinsed off. And then we're going to mince it. So I'm just going to cut it like this. And you can add more celery, less celery, no celery. I just find it really freshens up these seafood dishes. And that's very important when you're using any kind of canned ingredients. I always try to add celery and onion and any kind of fresh veggies to whatever I'm making.
Okay, you too. Happy.
I'm just putting that right in the pan, like I told you, because we're just going to saute it slightly. And then the next thing we do is our onion. And with the onion, to quick mince it, just cut the face with these little parallel lines very close together. And then go perpendicular. And you're making these little squares on the top of the onion, minced size squares. We don't want huge pieces of crunchy onion in this dish. It would be very unappealing, so try to mince the onion up. And then we just cut down the face until we have our 1/4 cup. Oops. It's a little hard working around the tripod as usual. And we're just going to put that right in too. This will add a nice taste to the sauce, to our scampi sauce. Our shrimp campi. And then we just take our onion and peel it. Get our cloves of onion. These are pretty big. So I think I'm going to use 2 of these. If they were small, I'd use 3. And we're just going to mince this a little bit too. And if you have a crusher with you, use the crusher. I don't have my crusher with me. I know you can't believe that. I lose my superpowers when I don't have my crusher. And you know, so we have to mince by hand, just like the settlers did when they were heading across the Great Plains, and they wanted some shrimp campi. They had to make it like this. So we're just peeling this garlic down. It looks really fresh, so it should have a lot of flavor in it. Okay, and with the garlic, we'll just slice it like this. And I don't mind if there's larger pieces of garlic. We're going for minced, but honestly, the larger pieces of garlic taste like a reward in a dish like this. Now, if you don't like garlic, leave it out. I'm not the cooktator, and I want you to make it to your taste, not mine, yours. And I tell people that just about every step-by-step video, that you know, make it my way the first time, and then think, wow, wouldn't this taste better with X, Y, and Z? And go to town. Go to town on it. I don't care. I want you to enjoy your dinner. Okay, so I'm just giving this a mince. A little bit more of a mince. That looks good enough for me. And that's it for the prep work. Now it's just a matter of sauteing and adding the shrimp and the butter and the olive oil. So I'll meet you over at the stove. Okay, so I tell you over and over, so I might as well tell you again. Read the instructions on how to light these stoves. Try it outdoors, never ever indoors. Before you leave your house, make sure that everything works, and then you'll be all set. So just be careful when you light these. And there's the hiss, and it's lit. Now the first thing I want to do is heat up the water for the spaghetti. I don't want to have the shrimp come out first before the spaghetti's just about ready, or it will come out too dry. The shrimp part will come out too dry, everything will shrink up. So I'm just going to add our spaghetti water. And I have the burner on high. And I do want to tell you one thing about these stoves. They have these wings on them. There we go. Those wings on both sides. Those block the wind, and they actually do work. And it is important that you use those to block the wind, or it will take longer, much longer for your water to heat up. And when you're up at altitude, it can take a little bit longer anyways to bring to a boil. So you want everything to your advantage. So this is going, and I'm going to get a lid for it. And once that shows signs of boiling, then we'll do the shrimp, because the shrimp part of it's going to cook really fast. Sauteing the vegetables and adding the shrimp and a few other ingredients, it's very fast. So I'll be right back once this starts boiling. And here's our onions, garlic, and celery with the butter and the olive oil already added to it. And this is what we're going to saute. And just when the onions start to look a little bit clear, then we'll add the shrimp to it. Okay, so here we are back again. You can see that the oil has melted. The butter has melted. The oil's all looking good. And the veggies are sauteing nicely. This Picnic table is at a pretty funny tilt. Lassen is a volcano, so you're not guaranteed to get level cooking surfaces up here. Anything could happen. And so I'm just getting these onions a little bit softer. And I drained the shrimp away from my campsite, away from everybody's campsite, so they won't end up with ants or any other varmints coming after them. And that is one tip I want to give you, is when you're cooking out in the wild, keep an eye on the wildlife. I have stellar jays who want to eat everything I take out. So when I made this dish, I had to bring everything all at the same time, because if I leave this table for half a second, a stellar jay will eat my shrimp scampi. And if you can get fresh shrimp, you could make this with like 5 jumbo shrimp or like 7 medium shrimp. You just have to take the tails off and slice them up. It's really not that complicated. But look at that. This shrimp is going to taste just fine. It's going to be freshened up by those veggies. And I just want to get you used to the idea of using, when you're camping, some canned goods. Even if you're at home, it's good to have them on hand. Our spaghetti water boiling, and the spaghetti takes about 5 minutes, so it's all going to come together nicely. Okay, now I just have to counter off my 5 minutes, and everything will come out at the same time. So I'll be right back. Okay, so here we go. The spaghetti is done. Now to tell if the spaghetti's done, take a piece and throw it against a tree. No, just kidding. Please don't do that. Take a little piece and just taste it. See if it's too gummy or not. This spaghetti is done. And I turned the heat off on the scampi because it was just cooking a little bit too fast, and I didn't want it to dry out. So you will have to adjust that temperature. It's very hard working with a propane tank, a propane stove. So make sure you're free to adjust that. So I'm going to go drain this in a safe spot away from people. So congratulations, look at what you just made. You just made this beautiful plate of shrimp scampi. You'll be a hero making this. No one will believe that you're able to do it at a campsite. I mean, it's just going to be absolutely delicious. I'm going to add salt and cheese to it, and it'll be perfect. Now, if you like this recipe, please go to my website, StepByStepChef.com. There you will find a free printable version of this recipe and well over 175 other delicious breakfasts, lunches, and dinners. It's all there, and each one has a free video too. The other thing you're going to find, since we're doing cooking and camping with the Step by Step Chef, is you are going to find videos on how to camp the step-by-step way. I think you're just going to love it. You got to get out here. It's a great life. So my name's Larry Richardson. I am your Step-by-Step Chef, and I'll see you in the next episode.